This month on 219 West, a healthier you. Cycling to keep fit, recycling to help the planet. Also, who needs a farm? Bring the planting indoors or take it on the road.
Don't you think I need a truck farm, truck farm, truck farm?
Hello, and welcome to this month's edition of 219 West, the monthly news magazine produced by the students of the CUNY Graduate School of Journalism for CUNY TV. I'm Amy Stratton.
And I'm Judy Lee. We'll have all these stories and more coming up. But first, this month we celebrate Earth Day, a day not only about keeping the planet healthy, but also those of us who live on it. Recently, we took notice of a new survey from the Population Health Institute that ranked our nation's health county by county and measured a number of health and environmental factors, including poverty, obesity, and access to fresh produce. In New York City, the Bronx came in last, with Brooklyn not too far behind. In contrast, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens fell in the top 40%. In a few moments, we'll show you what the city and some New Yorkers are doing to improve those numbers.
Also, the Wellbeing Ninja, an expert who will show us how to strike a healthy balance between mind, body, and soul. And we'll have some of our own tips for you on leading a healthy life. Here's the first one.
Drink Fit features nutritional information for over 1,600 drinks and allows you to choose the alcoholic beverage with the fewest calories. You can even create a drink log so you don't forget what you've had to drink and you can refer to it whenever you'd like. Now you'll know exactly how many calories you need to burn off the next day. The Drink Fit app is $1.99.
From smoking bans in parks to calorie counts on menus, Mayor Bloomberg has made health a priority. Another initiative to get New Yorkers active is Shape Up NYC. It's Zumba, it's yoga, and it's all free. 219 West's Margaret Teisch caught up with the woman who runs the program.
I'm here today with the Assistant Commissioner of the Parks and Rec Department, Anika Holder. We're talking about Shape Up NYC and Be Fit, both programs that the Parks is running to help New Yorkers get healthy. So, what is both Be Fit and Shape Up NYC?
All right, well, Be Fit actually is a search engine that allows New Yorkers to get online and identify free fitness and low-cost fitness opportunities across the city. So you'll find everything from a Shape Up class, yoga classes, Walk NYC, baseball diamonds, baseball courts, just access to everything that's available in New York City that's free or low cost. Just in this one amazing organized place.
And then Shape Up.
Shape Up, it's a great program, actually. So back in 2004, the Department of Parks and Recreation and the Department of Health joined together to really offer free Shape Up fitness classes to New Yorkers across the city, targeting those specifically that live in neighborhoods with high rates of obesity and obesity-related diseases.
What are some of these classes like, and who's taking them?
Well, everyone's taking them. They're fun, they're amazing. You can find over 188 free classes at 42 locations across the city. You can get everything from yoga, intensati, kickboxing, Pilates, body sculpting, chair aerobics. I mean, you name it, it's happening. It's happening in our recreation centers, in our schools, in playgrounds, in community health centers. We're just, everywhere we feel that we can best service the community. And the great thing is, these classes are free, do not require any pre-registration at all. We just encourage people to come, bring a friend, and be enthusiastic about working out for an hour.
So one of the fears, I think, for people when they're getting started with getting fit is, I'm not gonna be good at this, or I'm scared to sort of go in and get started. How do you all address that, maybe in both the pre-planning and programming and just inviting people in?
I think the fact that there's no commitment. We would just ask you to come in, check it out. If the first day you want to stand in the background, take a look, maybe take a punch here or there if it's kickboxing. We encourage you to do it at your own pace. And eventually what happens, people really truly do fall in love with it. As you can see, hopefully you'll get out to our Pelham Fritz site in Manhattan. We have an outpour of people who come out. People were standing on the sidelines, and all of a sudden, everyone's really banging on our doors, begging us to really expand the space that we're offering the program. So I think the fact is our instructors are amazing. They're professional, they're encouraging, and there's truly no commitment. The commitment is you deciding to really come in and work out that day.
Were there other goals in trying to bolster community awareness about health and fitness? I mean, maybe through some of the walking programs and just utilizing the open spaces that we do have as New Yorkers?
So this has been a really exciting time for us at the Parks Department. Most recently, we have redefined our recreation mission to enable all New Yorkers to lead physically active and healthy lives. And so what that means, we focus on sports, fitness, and outdoor adventure. The outdoor adventure is the obvious part. We have over 29,000 acres of space in New York City, and we encourage New Yorkers to take full advantage of that. And so one program that we offer through an amazing partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield is Walk NYC. This program provides organized walks at 25 locations throughout the city, and we're encouraging New Yorkers, specifically those who traditionally do not exercise at all, we're encouraging them in the goal of taking 10,000 steps. And so we have these amazing meetups. People get online, they find out where they are, and an experienced or professional walker would really walk them through the entire process.
It does feel like in a lot of ways that New York is sort of an exercise of the city for many New Yorkers, whether they're taking fancy spin classes or they're training for the New York City Marathon. Would you say that that is the case in all neighborhoods, or is that sort of divided? And if so, is that part of the goal for Shape Up NYC?
Well, I'll tell you this, from my personal experience, I hate the word exercise. And for me, if I know I can get up and do something fun that requires me to move or just get moving and stay moving, I'm more adept to get up and do it. And so for me, I love the idea of saying, oh, I'm going to a Shape Up class today, than, oh, I'm going to work out, or I'm going just physically to a gym. It's just something about the way you frame things and how you receive information. For example, our urban park rangers offer amazing hikes on the weekends. If you go canoeing on the Mayor and Central Park for 30 minutes, just 30 minutes, you can burn over 150 calories. So it's really all about how you frame it.
Anika, thank you so much for this awesome interview.
You're quite welcome.
Sixpack Pro is like a personal trainer you can keep in your iPhone. It features over 100 exercises, most of which do not require any equipment. There are color photos and diagrams of each exercise, and even before and after photos to show proper alignment to ensure your workout is as safe as possible. Get fit for only 99 cents.
While there may be some controversy over bike lanes, there's little question that cycling is a great way to stay fit. At a shop tucked away in Bushwick, Brooklyn, one bike enthusiast is recycling, literally. He's chopping, welding, and building custom bikes from scratch.
All right, put on some earplugs and start hacking.
I've only been building bikes from scratch for the last year. Whereas I was rebuilding and modifying and customizing bikes for about like 8 years or 7 years or something like that.
Now the tedious part is cleaning this stuff up, making it fresh again.
And again, in varying degrees of good. At one point it was just like, oh, I think these handlebars would look really cool, And then it gets to a point where you're like, this is a dialed-in machine that eats road, you know what I mean, and that somebody's gonna love. It's artistic, it's beautiful, it's everything, and it takes somebody putting their ass on the thing and rolling out. And I was just like, it's what I've been working towards. My first real memory, though, is in nursery school, but it was just full of these other styles of bikes that I hadn't seen, like some of them had like pedals in the back, and some of them had pedals in the front, some of them had 3 wheels, some of them didn't, some of them were made with wood, some of them were like, these really just cool little shapes. And I remember as a kid just being like, wow. And then just seeing everybody just kind of motoring around on this stuff, it was just like, I don't know, just joyful. That's like so much fun. Where I love being out in the open. I love having that like I don't have a seatbelt on. There's nothing around me. Like it's me and this thing, and it's just like, it's one of my favorite feelings in the world to just feel like, in the most stripped down bike possible, like nothing there besides you and that bike. This was the first one that was like me hanging out here and realizing like I could cut up old bikes down to components, not just like chunks of it and rebuild it. I was like, no, I'm gonna take it down to brass tacks and start over. And so this is what I came up with.
Bike building is still an art form, and I'm supporting, that local community that's doing things that are different, and not store-bought, not mass-produced. And I think there's a great uniqueness about that. And, why not bicycle? On a regular basis, I'll be riding and someone will try to stop me, or they'll yell, hold on, I want to check out that bike, who's it by, who made it, it's so unusual, it's so beautiful. The bike fits really great and it rides really great, and it's, it's a lot of control with riding. It's just a really comfortable ride.
There's nothing better, in my opinion, than just like tearing out across Manhattan or through Brooklyn or down to like the Rockaways, or like taking like a solid ride where you're not like getting somewhere. You're just riding and having a good time. I'm proud of that bike. But I love all my babies. Every single one. I mean, I've made hundreds of bikes for people, and like people still ride them and send me stories of how like great it is to be biking to work at 6 in the morning to the bakery and like just have a bike that just rides right and they feel good on, And it's like years later, that touches me, and finding out that it hasn't been to the bike shop except for like have some little cable adjusted, It's like, all right, I did them a solid. Things been solid since then.
It's hard to grow fresh food in a city full of concrete and asphalt, but one group in Brooklyn is bringing the farm indoors and in water. It's called hydroponics. Brenda-Lise Gonzalez shows us the latest example of urban farming.
Basil, cucumbers, and artichokes are all grown at Boswike Farms, a 1,000 square foot loft in Brooklyn. The urban farm relies on hydroponics, an ancient method that uses a mixture of water and minerals instead of soil to grow plants. Owner Lee Mendel is using it to bring people closer to their food.
Most people, up until the last 70 years actually knew the farmer that was growing their food. And since we've gotten disconnected, our diets have gotten worse. There are just all kinds of problems that have come up with it, and our food doesn't taste as good.
Mendel teaches others about the benefits of hydroponic farming in urban communities. His classes attract a number of residents seeking access to fresh produce in low-income neighborhoods.
I met some people from the Brooklyn Rescue Mission, and we started talking about different growing methods. If I can help them with volunteering and getting set up a hydroponic, that would be fun.
Students can purchase a kit for $55 and learn how to grow sustainable food in small spaces. Depending on the system's size, a unit can grow a handful of tomatoes indoors or acres of crops outdoors.
One end goes to the aquarium pump.
Boswike Farms is now working with the Childhood Development Support Corporation in Brooklyn. Through the help of a grant, CDSC is building a hydroponic farm to supply their food pantry with fresh produce.
When someone told me about Lee and hydroponics, that you don't need soil to actually grow fresh vegetables, then we said, you know what, why don't we go for this Sea grant?
Every year, United Way provides $20,000 to an organization working on an urban farming project. CDSC received the grant in an effort to bridge the gap between residents and their access to fresh food.
The only access to fresh vegetables we have in this immediate area, in walking distance, at least 5 or 6 blocks anyway, is the local supermarket, which has made a lot of improvements within the past 3 or 4 years. But other than that, our options are not great.
The organization already provides food to over 150 Brooklyn residents through donations from local farmers. Soon, they will be able to add more vegetables from their hydroponic farm.
Good thing about this is year-round. The season ends in October. This will go on in the dead of winter. So our clients will have fresh greens year-round.
For Mendel, helping CDSC struck close to home.
One of the core missions of the company is to bring high-quality food to areas of New York City that don't have it. Places called food deserts, where about the only thing you can get is soda and chips.
The farm is currently under construction and will open in May. Anyone can volunteer to help build, plant, and harvest.
Here, the clients are part of the entire process. They're picking it, they're harvesting it, they're watching it grow, they're moving seedlings around, and then you harvest it and then you prepare to eat it.
CDSC expects to spend less than $1,000 a month to maintain the farm. They see the project as just the beginning of providing fresh food to low-income neighborhoods.
It's not just a one-year project. This is going forward with expansion in mind. So this is here to stay because I believe this is the way we're going to be going.
Teach a community to plant and feed it for life. For 219 West, I'm Brenda-Lise Gonzalez in Clinton Hill.
Remember when your mom told you, no dessert until you eat your veggies? Well, now you can have both at the same time. Suzanne Barr did what some people can only imagine. She quit her desk job to become a chef. Now, as 219 West's Shannon Hodge tells us, she spends her long days whipping up sweet treats with a healthy twist.
Suzanne Barr spent years working long hours managing video and graphic projects at MTV. Though she enjoyed her work, her drive to dream and create went unsatisfied until she took a leap of faith. 3 years ago, she went to culinary school at night. She now spends her days as a private chef and baker, managing her own company out of her home in Bedford-Stuyvesant called Sweet Potato Bakery.
I turned 34 now, and I felt like I was just kind of heading down a path of either doing the executive route and like working up the industry of Viacom, or I could take a chance on something.
Suzanne is not just a baker, but a health-supportive chef. She studied at the Natural Gourmet Institute, a successful and growing Midtown school that teaches cooks to take food back to its nourishing purpose. Many of Suzanne's cookies, cupcakes, and pastries are gluten-free. Her creations often begin with a love of fruits and veggies, like sweet potato, beets, and strawberries, which she purees. These purees often become bases for recipes she'll test and retest first in her home kitchen.
There's so many vitamins that are essential to your everyday, eating, that it's a wonderful way to incorporate healthy, vitamins back into your desserts. You think about cookies and you think about cupcakes and brownies and you think, how can I make this healthy? Add a puree to it and you'd be surprised what you can, give to your dessert then.
Though Suzanne loves her new career, she admits it's tough financially. She spends hundreds of dollars a month for insurance and a rental space at a communal kitchen in Queens. For large events, she'll have a partner, but often she cooks and transports things herself.
It just takes that person to realize, this is what it is, and there's a lot of work. It's a lot of work involved and not a lot of money always. I absolutely think that, everything that I've done is worth the sacrificing. I think that, losing my mom to cancer was also a big part of why I decided to do this. Because while she was sick, I didn't know how to cook for her. My father has diabetes, so, I work with materials that I know he can use those in his everyday eating and in pleasure.
For craft service, but we do want a lunch. Then I can drop off a lunch, or I can do breakfast.
I have a cause behind the passion, and that's a big thing for me. Is my passion for food is not just to create this amazing dish that someone else is going to enjoy, but it's also to heal somebody that needs it.
Suzanne is currently working on a cookbook for infants and kids. Within 2 years, she hopes to have enough money for her biggest step yet, opening her own bakery.
I should probably stop eating this now.
For 219 West, I'm Shannon Hodge in Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Good food near you helps you make good food choices when you're away from home. The built-in location finder will give you access to menus and nutritional information, so you can find the most healthy food options at a restaurant, fast food joint, or even a convenience store near you. And the best part, it's free.
Being healthy isn't only about eating right and exercising. The National Health Survey looked at some other factors such as stress, mental health, and quality of life issues. Elizabeth McGann is the founder of Wellbeing Ninja, a New York City-based holistic health counseling practice which aims to inspire others to live their best lives by integrating the body, mind, and spirit. Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So, you know, I've heard a lot about the holistic health coaching industry, and can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, holistic health coaching is an exciting and unique innovation in nutrition and health. And it's based on the notion that the mind, body, and spirit are connected. So rather than dealing with like boring like calories, carbs, protein, fats, and long lists of what to eat and what not to eat, it's more about finding just your balance and finding fun and flexibility with leading the best life you can.
So how is this an improved approach to well-being?
So it's a holistic approach. So as opposed to like traditional like Western medical model, it's based on the notion that you've got a body, mind, and a spirit, and all these things need to be taken into account. For example, perhaps like stress, which is a huge factor in your job or in school, is causing you to just eat too much, you know, overeat at the end of the day. Or perhaps your lack of energy or you're not sleeping enough is just causing you not to get to the gym or exercise, which is never a good thing. So a holistic approach just helps you understand how all the parts affect the whole.
So how can someone like me who has a busy schedule, a busy life, how can I keep my mind, body, and spirit all in balance holistically?
We're all busy, right? And so I think the most important part is to make self-care and taking care of yourself a priority. So the best way to do that is, I find, you got to schedule it in, and you have to like treat it like a commitment you would create, you know, any like a work or a school commitment. Make time for it and honor it, and do things you enjoy, because at the end of the day, like if you're not enjoying it, you're not going to do it. So I think those two things really help become consistent. With a little time, it becomes a habit that you enjoy, and you'll do it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any specific tips for like your body, maybe your mind, your spirit?
Those are great things to do. They all are connected, but to break it down, I'd say, for example, our mind. We're always using our mind. So sometimes just taking a break from your mind and just realizing, I just need to like turn this off for a little bit, right? So meditation, journaling, sometimes just taking a walk, a yoga class is a great thing for just kind of like, you know, put the mind in its right place. The spirit, connecting with something larger than yourself. That could be a friend, it could be a family member. You can take a walk, or, you know, a religious or spiritual practice, whatever works for you. And then a body, I've got a great tip for a body care. You can go to a spa and spend a lot of money on getting a body scrub. But this time of year, in the spring, it's time to like detoxify and like get your skin ready for like fun clothes and whatnot. So one thing you can do, and it's very cost effective, is you can go to the supermarket, you can get some sea salt, some Epsom salt, equal parts, put it in a bowl and mix it with a nice natural organic oil. Grapeseed is great. Organic coconut oil is fantastic. Just mix it all together. You can put in some essential oils, your favorites like lavender or grapefruit. Mix it all together at like a wet sand, and you can just take it in the shower with you and just scrub it on and rinse it off, and your skin will feel like amazing, and it'll look really amazing too.
Oh wow, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I gotta try that one.
Yeah, totally.
So do you have any other tips for living holistically on a budget?
Sure.
I know you mentioned some earlier.
You know, I think, especially in New York, food is so expensive, and eating out, we're all eating out on the run. If you just take some time to go to the grocery store, there's some great Trader Joe's, there's a lot of discounts there, but any just organic food if possible, cooking it at home, and just preparing it and taking it with you, you'll save a ton of money. Exercising outdoors now that it's getting a little warmer. And there's some great social media buying sites. I love Lifebooker, and Groupon's got some good deals, and what's another? Vital Juice. Vital Juice is a really good one.
Yeah, they're great.
.coms, and you'll find some like yoga deals, massage deals, all kinds of good stuff.
Those are some really great tips. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, but you can visit Elizabeth's website, Elizabeth McGann. It's wellbeingninja.com.
Today I'm going to show you how you can get in shape with no gym membership required right from your living room. This exercise is called a tricep dips, using a chair in your home. By doing this exercise, you're working the tricep muscles. Next exercise is standing oblique crunches. It works your core, and your goal should be to get that elbow to the knee. This next exercise is called Earth to Heaven by using a simple towel. By doing this, you're going to engage your core, your glutes, your hamstrings, And once again, by raising your arms above your head, you're getting that cardio workout. There you have it. Those were basic exercises that you can do right from your home.
Now, garden on the go. It is said, if you can't bring the consumer to the farm, why not bring the farm to the consumer? 219 West Megan Eisen has a story of a truck farm with an international reputation.
The back of a 1986 Dodge pickup isn't the typical place you'd expect to find a garden. But that's exactly where Brooklyn-based filmmaker Ian Cheney decided to plant his. With no backyard, roof, or fire escape to grow fresh herbs and veggies, Cheney turned to his truck's cargo bed. After the first sprouts sprung from the truck bed, other unusual gardening projects around the city came his way.
And started to learn that urban agriculture was this blossoming, quirky new phenomenon. It seemed like something that was worth sharing with the world.
And Truck Farm, the film, was born. But this movie about a garden in the back of a pickup isn't your average documentary. You could call it a musical since it's narrated in song.
Truck farm, time to figure out how to build a truck farm.
We thought that would be like a really fun and interesting way to tell the story. It sort of starts you thinking about food in a way that, walking through the grocery store doesn't exactly make you think.
Musicians Simon Baines and Cheney wrote songs about the truck farm, its adventures, travails, and the friends it's made along the way.
Truck farm has a family now. Yeah, I do see him in the family of unusual farms. Trucks and windows and barges and rooftops, a family of...
Truck Farm and the documentary became a hit among kids, so Cheney and his crew took the show on the road, touring New York City schools, giving students a glimpse of urban farming.
Kids love the truck farm because it's at its core, it's just kind of funny. It's unusual to see a beat-up old pickup truck sprouting vegetables.
The film headlined at the Wild and Scenic Film Festival in Manhattan to an audience of New Yorkers concerned with kids learning about eating healthy and growing organic food.
A lot of kids that grew up here, myself included, grew up completely disconnected to the natural world, had never seen where tomatoes come from or where their food comes from, and grew up eating fast food.
The Truck Farm inspired more than 60 student groups from the East Coast to compete in an urban gardening contest.
It can infect young people with the desire to plant their own garden, even in an unusual place, whether it's their windowsill or their shoe or the drinking fountain at their elementary school.
And the winning garden? A hanging tomato plant in a disco ball at Prospect Charter School in Brooklyn.
And I love the idea that these kids were maybe suggesting that growing food can be kind of a fun party of an operation.
What began with a beat-up truck has gone viral. There are now 25 truck farms visiting schools across the country and even one in Vienna, Austria.
We want more school gardens planted in schools across the country. We want more young people tasting freshly grown vegetables, planting a seed of their own, understanding where food comes from.
Or where it can go. For 219 West, I'm Megan Eisen.
That's it for this month's edition of 219 West from the CUNY Graduate School of Journalism. Thank you for watching. I'm Amy Stretton.
And I'm Judy Lee. We'll be back next month with more stories from the 5 boroughs. In the meantime, don't forget to check out our podcasts on iTunes. From all of us here at 219 West, see you next time.